The 2008 Connolly's Red Mills Champion Stake for pointers and setters was held at the Byrecleugh Estate in Scotland by kind permission of the Duke of Roxburghe. It was held under Kennel Club rules and field trial regulations. John Keane, the Honorary Secretary of the Scottish Field Trials Association, explains.
These trials have been sponsored by Red Mills of Ireland for the very first time. Getting the sponsorship deal has meant that we've put this champion stake on a new level and taken it, raising the bar. For example, we've produced a really excellent programme for all the competitors. It's a colour programme with photographs and so forth. They've also sponsored us with our prize cards, and above all anything else, every single competitor that actually entered today, of which there are 50, all received Red Mills product. So as far as that is concerned, that is invaluable for the future of our sport.
Competitors and spectators move off onto the moor, and the first brace of dogs are put to work. The dogs must quarter the moor over and back, searching for birds by scent. Once a dog detects the presence of birds with its nose, it must set or point, and wait for its handler. Then, on demand, the dog is asked to work out and produce the birds. When the birds rise, a shot is fired into the air, and the dog must remain steady and composed. The other competitors and spectators observe the action intently. As the others wait their turn, John Keane, Honorary Secretary of the Scottish Field Trials Association, gives us a running commentary on a brace of dogs in action.
This is a grouse trial. It's the premier event in the pointer setter calendar. 5th brace going down, pointer and red setter. Both dogs are expected to quarter the moor systematically. The pointer has been cast off to the left, taking a good first cast, turning into the wind in search of game birds, primarily grouse. And today we have 50 dogs qualified for this champion stake. It's the biggest ever champion stake that we've had in the British Isles, and it is actually a one-day event. However, I think with more and more dogs qualifying for this champion stake, it will eventually become a two-day event. and the red dog on the left has accidentally bumped into birds, has had a flush, so I'm afraid he will be disqualified. And the pointer over on the right actually had quartered the ground on the left hand side of the beat already, so he will be disqualified as well. The judges today for the event are Richard McNichol from Thurso, who has been involved in pointer trials for probably almost 30 years now. And to his right, Peter O'Driscoll has also been very successful in field trials over the years. Both men have won this champion stake before and are A panel judges under the Kennel Club rules and regulations. Both men have huge experience of field trials, and they will have very, very high standards today because this is the British Championship.
It's time to head back to the cars and have some lunch. During the break, John Keane asks Wilson Young of Eskdale Shooting Services to describe the area where the 2008 Champion Stake is being held.
Wilson, could you just describe to us the type of ground here?
Well, we're in the Lammermuir Hills on the Duke of Roxburgh's grouse moor on the Robburn beat, which is one of the finest grouse moors in Scotland. The thing about pointers and setters is that the the fun that you derive from it is from watching the dogs. So it's essential to be able to see them. And on this ground it's relatively flat, and even if the dogs go 200 yards either side of the handler, you can see them for almost the whole of the run.
While everyone else is taking a break, the judges are deciding which dogs make it through to the second round. John asks the judges for their opinions.
Basically what's happened this morning is that we've had the first round of the Champion Stake. There were 50 dogs running this morning, and both judges have now conferred with each other to basically decide which dogs actually go forward to the second round. Richard, how many dogs have you chosen?
We've got 12 dogs coming back in the second round. It's been a very difficult morning. Peter and I tried to give them every chance. There was plenty of game available, though there was testing conditions with a few hares and rabbits on the ground, and we generally feel that the scenting conditions were maybe not the best, but some dogs have shown that they're capable of doing it. If it was a shooting day, we would have to go out and do the ground properly, and that's how Peter and I were very like-minded in that assessment. And we have 12 dogs. There's a lot of things we couldn't. It was clear cut. There wasn't a lot of writing. The dogs eliminated themselves.
Yeah. What like was the ground itself for the pointers and setters?
Maybe Peter would like to comment on that.
Well, classic ground for them. It's been a tough call, as Richard said, about the scenting conditions and that sort of thing, but it's just the sort of ground we would all love to be shooting on the 12th, because it's got a great head of game, a few hares and that sort of thing. But I'd agree with Richard. I think scenting conditions are difficult, but that's exactly what you have on a shooting day, and you've got to go through it. And that's exactly what these 12 dogs have done. They've gone through it and deserved their second chance.
The remaining 12 dogs head back out onto the moor to battle it out for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a cubby just lifted there, so we know it's gone.
It's time for Richard and Peter to discuss, deliberate and decide.
First prize in the 2008 Champion Stake goes to number 55, Mrs. Penny Dallas, out of Centrebridge, Erin Vale Gemma.